Today on Two Expats Wtf, I have a wet dream. Bogdan tries to be an expert. I try to say something but don't quite succeed. Bogdan confuses physicians with physicists. I am very philosophical when drunk. Bogdan enumerates some famous people. And I get into trouble with my girlfriend. Two Expats Wtf, your spiritual guide through Expatia. Disclaimer: in traces it may contain serious conversation. Hello, this is Two Expats Wtf. Hi Bogdan, how are you today?
Hi Zoli. I'm really good. I'm really excited. As you can notice, I don't really have the patience to listen to you. Sorry. No, I'm really excited because today is going to be a special subject, isn't it?
Yeah, today, just to be completely honest with you guys, today we've been talking about 45 minutes before hitting the record button about today's topic. So we are committed. We know the topic and we are going head on.
Definitely. The research has been done.
Yeah, we Googled some
not.
things. You know, we did our research.
We Googled some shit for 45 minutes. It's gonna be fine. So, what are we going to talk about today?
Should I tell them? Okay.
I don't know. You should. I should. We should.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Success as an expat.
Yeah, exactly.
that didn't come out right, but hey.
Yeah,
next time.
Fine. But success. What is success, Zoli?
For me, it's... Wow. You caught me here. I would say if I'm thinking about what success would be as someone still living in Eastern Europe, I would say success would be having money. As someone who's living or already living in Western Europe, I say success would be doing what I love without worrying about money.
So you have two kind of two definitions for it.
And the third one that's
means
extremely personal, and I'm not sure that I want to share this with you guys, but I would like to be acknowledged for my knowledge and dog training. I would like to be what would I like to be? I would like to be a milestone in dog training, you know, someone who they still talk about in 10, 20, 30 years, who did something extra, not in a bad sense, you know, not that I did something wrong.
Yeah.
But some innovation I did in the field of dog training. That's my dream. I know it's pretty much unobtainable, but that would be my wet dream.
Well, we'll talk a little bit about that a bit later. I think about unobtainable or not. But what I was thinking is, quite interestingly, you said something really personal to you. But if you were to try to explain it as a concept, as just a general idea, I would say my conclusions from what you said is really short. The need to be acknowledged as a professional, and the wish to be maybe remembered in history somehow. That's cool. I think that's two things that are really important when it comes to success. People that are successful generally have been, like, if you could call them a milestone in the professional side of things, you know, and you most of them you definitely remember. Interesting. I like the way you presented your idea. I really like it.
As an objective thing, I have no idea how could I explain success. I think it's personal to everyone. I do not believe there's a universal explanation for it.
Yeah, most definitely everybody sees success differently. But exactly because of that, my own definition of success is when you get to that point where you are happy with a few things in life, like when you're happy with your professional life, when you're But firstly, of course, when you're happy with your personal life, and as a family or just as a loner or whatever you are, if you're happy with your personal life, your professional life, and that's kind of it when it comes to success, isn't it? When you're just happy. But I was thinking my personal definition of success. My personal definition of success would be kind of similar to yours somehow. I would most definitely love to be recognized for my abilities in my area, in my domain, in my my area of expertise.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working on
the expert side of teas, or
yeah, exactly. I'm still working on my expert things because I'm still learning. I'm still going to school, and and then maybe to be remembered as a good person. And that's kind of it, if I'm to be honest. Quite simple, right?
I believe that success is extremely flexible.
Yeah.
And it depends on who you ask. Because, for instance, we as expats, when we go home and we visit relatives or old friends, I am certain that they deem us successful, although we don't feel it. And they're a bit jealous, and they are a bit judgmental that, you achieved success the easy way because you ran away from home and it's easy to achieve success abroad. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other question. But
interesting.
I believe that we as expats do seem successful to those who remained home.
Interesting. I do believe that being an expat is a success in itself. Having the courage to explore different countries, different cultures, and so on. I would deem that a success from the start, because
having the courage to start over, because all of us had a life back home. All of us had a career. We already put something down on the table. If I were to express myself this way, and once we moved, we started from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of us that are expats, most of us maybe moved after the age of 20, 30 or something, which is, of course, an age that you have already managed to build some kind of a career maybe, or some kind of a success story for yourself maybe, right? A path for yourself. And what moving abroad does is kind of resets all that work and all that sweat that you've tried to be something or do something in your homeland, and that's kind of reset. The moment you move somewhere else, you can need to, as you say, start from scratch. But of course, your scratch is now full with the baggage that you already have, the experience that you already have in your home.
Experience, and what loopholes you can run through, or what traps you can avoid.
Yeah.
The interesting part is that although you leave a lot of what did you leave behind?
I don't know, friends, family, feelings, accomplishments, like you had your own company, for example.
I was searching for accomplishments. You start all over in a new land, but still there is an old proverb that you cannot be a prophet in your hometown, because everyone knows you. Everyone knows every single mistake you've made to the path where you are now,
Yeah.
On this path, you must have made mistakes, because no one's perfect. And in order to achieve knowledge, in order to achieve experience, you must fuck up, because
of course
you learn from fuck ups.
Yeah,
and that's why you cannot really be a prophet in your own hometown or village, because everyone knows all your fuck ups and they cannot really take you seriously.
Yeah, because they see your fuck ups easier than your successes. Yeah,
exactly. But in the meantime, once you're in a foreign land, you have to fight twice as much to be acknowledged as home. So it's really, really interesting.
I feel like you kind of have to fight more to be acknowledged as back in your home country. But at the same time, I do feel that because you're new to the country and new to the culture, you kind of this starting from scratch thing makes it so that you can build a new self, a new image. Who is Zoli, the new Zoli, the German Zoli? The German Zoli is cool, you know. The German Zoli is calm and collected and planning, and you know that image. Although you haven't had maybe the success you wish for right now, but that image you have formed already. You know, and if you go back to your home country, everybody's gonna know you for another type of Zoli, you know, not the one that's German Zoli, planning Zoli, you know what I mean? Which is really good because you're starting from totally different circumstances, and it makes life easier when it comes to new adventures, new relationships, and so on. You know.
Of course, I think that we need to reinvent ourselves constantly in order to stay relevant, to stay afloat. And I don't know who said this, but a true expert learns all their lives, or a true craftsman learns their entire lives. You know, if you are dedicated to a craft or a field or anything, then you have to be humble and admit that I do not know shit, even though you know a lot of things. But if you approach it like I don't know shit, then the chances of you succeeding are much bigger, because you accumulate knowledge and you do not just reject it. That's I know this, that what you're talking is bullshit, because although what external information may seem as not relevant, but you can learn from everything.
Yeah, I would like to draw like parallel plan to this idea you've just said, that if you approach things with the mindset that you don't know anything about it and you can't really do anything that well, you know, there's a higher rate of success. That's quite interesting, because historically speaking, the human race is quite a curious, you know, thing. We like new stuff. We are curious about new stuff. We are curious being. And when it comes to physics, for example, we have been studying physics since the ancient Greeks, right? With Pythagoras and, I don't know, Archimedes and all those guys that have started to study physics, you know, quite huge figures even now, although most of their theorems are quite basic and simple as you think about them now. And of course, physics in time has been over and over reinvented or rewritten, because what we thought we knew, when we got to a point now we know everything. It has happened historically a couple of times that the human race thought that we know everything and there is to know about physics right now, and then there comes an Einstein or a Newton or someone that reinvents the physics as we know it, for example. And in that moment, the physicists,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the physicists are like, oh shit, we don't know shit, man. This thing that we just discovered makes it so that we don't know shit. And then they start working again and getting to the same point again in time, you know? Quite cool.
Exactly. That's the best case scenario, but most of them say that no, this new idea is bullshit and we know the truth, and it needs a couple of generations until this new idea gets traction. It's the same with, what should I say, for instance, Blockbuster. You know, the VCR rental place?
Yeah, exactly.
It died because of Netflix. And YouTube and Netflix in the beginning were extremely small, minuscule things. And Blockbuster could have evolved to be Netflix or be even bigger than Netflix. But no, they were too rigid. And I believe that is success as well, being flexible and changing
being
with times.
Open-minded, right?
Yeah.
Being able to take in new stuff. And one of the good things about being an expat is, to succeed as an expat, you need kind of that openness, that willingness to see new things and understand new phenomena, right? So you can better adapt to your new situations, and then you have an easier path to success.
And weirdly, you need to hold on to your past as well, because as an expat, it might provide a greater knowledge that could help you in your path to success. It's just sifting through the information you have in your mind and choosing the best one.
Yeah, but now that I think about it, expats and success, I was thinking of just listing a few really, really big success stories that were expatriates, right? Because we know that success is possible, and and it's maybe a bit harder for an expat to be successful or not. It depends. But here are some names that I thought about before we started this podcast. So I have a couple of names that are from different kinds of backgrounds, right? There's the first one that I think about is Freddie Mercury, the huge and awesome Freddie Mercury. He was born in Zanzibar, Tanzania, right? And he spent most of his young adult life between India and Zanzibar, and then he moved to London at the age of 18, and then he just blew up. And then, he became Freddie Mercury, and he kind of, together with Brian May, Roger Taylor, and John Deacon, they made Queen, like one of the biggest bands of all time. And he has become like an icon for generations to come as a success story. And furthermore, an expat success story, right? So this is one in music. And then I thought about, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He comes from a small Austrian village, I think it's called Thal, Austria. And he now lives in the USA, in Los Angeles. And he has been really successful since he was Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe, or what's it called? I think he won Mr. Universe when he was like 20 years old. And
wow, that's something.
Yeah, think about it. 20 years old. What were you doing when you were 20 years old? Instead of just moving out as the fucking shithole you were stuck in.
Wow, I was high and drunk, and I was really happy that I moved out of my parents' place, and I thought that I'm independent.
Exactly.
I didn't achieve anything.
Yeah. But this guy is 20 years old. He was fucking the strongest man in the world, you would say, right? And or at least one of the greatest bodybuilders. Yeah. And it takes commitment and a lot of work. And then he went on to be a movie star, and then he went on to be the governor of California, the 38th governor of California from 2003 to 2011, right? And then one more guy, which I think most of us love. I think right now, if you think about it, you think what's it called? His most famous, one of the most famous lines in acting is when he was on the phone. I have a really special set of skills.
Liam Neeson. Yeah, I know, in Taken.
Yeah, in Taken,
Where's
exactly.
Where's he from?
Liam Neeson is from Northern Ireland, from Ballymena or something like that. I definitely butchered the name of the town. But he moved to Hollywood, because he was nominated at one point for some, what's it called, a BAFTA and Golden Globe and so on, and he got a couple of chances, and so he moved and he became an expat, right? And he's a really good success story. And one more interesting success story is Tina Turner. I don't know if you guys knew, but Tina Turner actually is from Switzerland, from a small town in Switzerland.
That's news to me. I had no idea, honestly.
Kusnacht. Yeah, and then I think she moved. I'm not sure when she moved to the USA, but she moved to USA and she became really successful, of course. And then we have one of Zoli's favorites, Cesar Milan, for example. If we talk about dog training, right? this guy.
Yeah, might I just intervene? He's not one of my favorites. I acknowledge his success. I do not approve of his methods. Can I put it this way?
Of course. I think it's just normal that most of success stories can be controversial or can be a topic of discussion and wrong, right? I don't know, but it's his success, right? But the guy, you know better than me.
I could say that he is great at marketing, or his team is great at marketing, because he totally milked the fact that he's not from America and he's from Mexico, and he's from a rural part of Mexico, and all his knowledge comes from his grandpa, who respected nature and worked together with nature, which in theory is fucking awesome, you know. It's a great marketing strategy. The fact that he sometimes does things that I don't really approve of, I honestly believe that is due to his success, and he just grew out of his shell, and he was trying new stuff just for show business. And although he knew that, for instance, this dog cannot be rehabilitated in 20 minutes, he tried to do it because of show business, to look nice on television,
that's his strategy to keep being successful.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
And that's what a lot of people are against, and that's why a lot of people are against him. And he has some outdated methods as well, but I cannot deny, and no one can take away the fact that he made rehabilitating problem dogs mainstream. He made that possible. People truly realize that you can rehabilitate a dog, and no one can take that away from him. That's,
as you said before, one of your wishes is to be remembered or to be a milestone for something in your field, and he definitely is, especially in the US, right?
I may be so picky, I would like not to be associated with negative things, but hey, whatever.
It doesn't matter, you know. It's his success story. But if you think about it, he is like an illegal Mexican immigrant in the USA.
Yeah,
I think you told me, I think at one point, that the guy slept under bridges for a couple of weeks just before after crossing, and
crossed the border after a while, because he tried to cross the border a couple of times. Finally succeeded and slept under a bridge for a while. So the drive, you know, the quest for something greater is there, and I think that's why expats or immigrants or someone who just flees their own country is more motivated, because they know the other side of the coin. They know what they have to go back to if they do not succeed.
Maybe, but I was thinking about one thing. For example, if we take Cesar Millan, right? What do you think would happen if this guy Cesar Millan would go back to his small village in Mexico, where he comes from, where he came from, and he's gonna meet all his old friends and family, and you know what I mean? The old community. What will they think about him? Will they still have that old image of little Cesar Millan who was playing with football in the fields? Or did they change their view, you know?
I believe he outgrew that, but someone less famous or a bit less successful, even if they return to their home country or their home village, they would be viewed as a fraud.
I think they will still be viewed as they were before leaving. You know, I think that there's like a kind of a interesting thing that the people back there don't want to change their view.
Yeah, plus a good amount of resentment that they managed to escape this, and they managed to make some money or gather some new experiences. And after which they came home, they would be viewed as a fraud, or they would be viewed with resentment, I believe.
I was thinking about Liam Neeson a bit. About the quote itself. I was trying to Google it. What's the quote again? Liam Neeson.
Sorry, I do not know that.
I have a special set of skills. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Yeah, exactly. If you're looking for a ransom, I can tell you, I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. That's cool. And I think it's kind of interesting because I kind of think about myself right now. Since I've moved, I have acquired a particular set of skills, and it has taken a long time. And that's what I wanted to get back to somehow, because all these people back in your home country that might say, oh, it's so easy for you now, you're so successful. Yo, Zoli, you have a BMW. I would never dream of even buying a car like that. You must have a lot of money. You must be really successful. Ooh. Yeah, they don't really see the work that's that's behind it. But that's interesting because Liam Neeson kind of showed that he did put in the work to get those specific set of skills, right?
Let me tell you how I got that car. So first time I moved to Sweden. I've tried for 4 months to find a job unsuccessfully. Sadly, I've burned all of our life savings with Imola, my girlfriend.
And she's gonna get you for that.
My girlfriend. No, that's you with your wife.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I believe that we were down to about 500 euros from our X 1,000 euro savings.
Yeah.
And we saw that, fuck it, this will not happen. It's not happening. So even though that I had a master's degree, Imola had 2 master's degrees, and we had a company back home, successful dog training company back home. We went to Germany and worked in a warehouse as pickers. You know, you pick out you order something online, and I was the fucker who just got it from the shelves and put it in a box. No, honestly, I was the fucker who got it from the shelf, gave it to Imola, and Imola put it in the box. It seems
you were maybe struggling with that job, of course, but it was your struggle, and you were doing the work
really
to get
simple.
success.
You know, it seems really easy. It seems really simple, but after doing this for about 14 hours a day, your feet just explode, your back hurts, your everything hurts, and that's how I bought my car from this job. And where I got from this job is a whole other story. That's because of my tenacity and the fact that I wasn't satisfied with this job. But it wasn't easy. I woke up every morning at 3:30 a.m. and I got home at 7 p.m. You know, it's not the dream life you see from home.
Yeah, of course, but that's what I was trying to get to, because I have a lot of friends that are expats and live in different countries on different parts of the globe. And of course the globe is round, isn't it?
According to some.
Yeah, of course. Maybe it's flat. What do I know? But having a lot of friends spread out, most of them say the same thing. When they go back to Romania or to their original countries where they moved from, most of them say this. They kind of are judged, or not judged, but it's so easy for their friends back home or the acquaintances back home for them to say, oh, you're so successful, life must be so easy for you. Oh, you have so much money, or oh, you have such a wonderful life. Oh, but nobody ever really thinks and tries to appreciate the person for the work that has been put into getting there.
I believe the only person who states this or has this judgment is someone who never left their home country or never left their hometown and never had to start all over or never had to go through the struggles of unrooting themselves and starting from scratch.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what kind of people said that to me. At least I have started to understand them to a certain degree, but it's just saddens me because automatically all your effort or your struggles are just like equal to zero for everyone else. They just think you got it so easy because of course the everything that you worked for is behind you and they don't see it,
and all your achievements are in their eyes are gotten illegitimately.
Yeah, but then again, we are going towards our success. I believe so, at least. We are working towards our success. And if people see us as successful, then I just have to appreciate that and just not think about the fact that they don't really understand how much work it is to actually move to a new country. What does it imply and what do you need to be successful in a new country?
And honestly, I do believe, but this is my personal opinion. I'm not sure that this is a thing, but I do believe that successful person is never satisfied. They always want more. They are never content. And they seem successful from the outside, but in their little bubble, in their head, they are still miserable and they still try to do more. They still try to prove. They still try to innovate. They still try to something. So a truly successful person, I believe, is the one who feels successful and who is content with their own lives, no matter what they have.
In my view, a truly successful person is kind of like that, but at the same time, I think that the truly successful, that the really truly successful people in general are happy with where they are, and of course are hungry for more, because they love it. They love not the money or the fame or whatever. I think just the feeling of
new
getting
challenges.
Acknowledged. I think that's success. Success is having the feeling of your work being acknowledged, your stress and your efforts that you have put into something. I think that is truly the meaning of success for me, if I think about it. When you are at the point where you feel that everything you've put into this small thing that you are working towards, it's been acknowledged, and people say, look at that man, he's a good skier, or he's a good dog trainer, or he is a good podcaster. But you know what I mean. I think that's quite easy. But I was just thinking of saying something. I think a couple of times in this podcast we had the chance to appreciate all the other expats that are out there, and I think choosing to move abroad takes courage, spirit, and determination. And I know that expats move abroad for all kinds of reasons. Some are looking to study abroad. Some are looking to find the job of their dreams. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Freddie Mercury. However, taking these new steps and understanding other cultures can bring you many different challenges. And I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that all of you that are out there and are struggling with moving to a new country and culture shock and other things that we've talked about, hang in there. All you need is patience, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be good.
You need patience and perseverance, and think on your feet. Use your background, use your heritage, and that is a plus. Do not let people tell you that that's a drawback. No, that is a plus that you can use in your current situation. You just have to find a way.
Yeah, I think it's quite cool to see that there are definitely a lot of people that have been really successful being expats, as we just named a couple, like Freddie Mercury, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Liam Neeson, Tina Turner, and even Cesar Milan, right? There's lots of more people that are expats, and we don't exactly know all of them, of course, but I just wanted to show that it's possible to be really successful, like on the top of the success ladder, if you want to say so. But then again, what does success mean to you? It kind of like when we started talking, you said success. What does success mean to you? To be acknowledged as a milestone in your field, or to be acknowledged for your
my contribution to the field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It can be done. and much more.
Yeah, just stay positive, never give up, and march on.
Yeah. So I was thinking about success stories. We've talked about famous people, but I kind of have a wish. I have a good friend here in Sweden that has moved to Sweden a bit longer than I have, since maybe 7-8 years. But I didn't know he moved to Sweden because back then we didn't really keep in touch so well, and now we've become good friends, and I kind of appreciate the struggles he's had, and I hope that we can get him on the show soon enough so we can have our very first guest. So
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, so Silvio, if you're out there, move your ass. We're waiting.
Yeah, come on the show. Tell us your story.
Your success.
Wow us.
Well. Okay. And,
I believe that's shortly we are done for today. Do you have anything more to add to our topic of success?
Keep trying, be patient, you'll be successful.
Yeah, just march on, never give up, and
let's give up on the show right now. Now it's time to stop. Yeah, thank you for today. It's been, I think I was really excited to talk about this topic. It just warms my heart. I don't know if you feel it or not, but it's a good topic.
I believe it wasn't a really funny show, but it was a fucking honest show. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So thank you for today.
And see you guys next week. Bye.
See you. Bye.